Hey you guys, my beloveds. It's been a minute since I did a video. I am coming along in therapy and everything. But what I want to talk to you today is how we go through the same cycles. You know, certain things in your life path that you have repeatedly done and never found out exactly why you have repeated that cycle. Once you even recognize some of the things feel so familiar, it's like deja vu. And those of you who have been through that, it's like deja vu. It starts to feel like something you already experienced. So then when you do go through that experience, that's your warning sign. That's your warning sign. That is your hazard. That is the sign before saying merge into another lane. And you don't. Working through this process is I'm learning. And when I see certain behaviors or certain things that I do a self-check all the time. I'm checking myself. I'm congratulating myself for my wins, but I saw a pattern and I saw it, but see, this is the one thing that you have to learn. You got to recognize it. Sometimes I'm so busy with being a caregiver, trying to run a business, being a mom, and everything else in my life. I don't have time to really analyze. I mean, I do have time to analyze it, but I don't have time to put it in the category that it belongs in. And then when I do see it, I finally say, okay, the cycle has been broken. Or I will do something different. Or even if you forgot and you did go down that road, you saw the warning signs and you did something that you weren't supposed to do because it looked familiar, it was the same signs, everything, but you didn't, because everybody feel as though they get signals and signs from the universe or, the guardian angels, whatever you believe in, sends you like a premonition of things you should not do. So, say for instance you did it. What you need to do is not wallow on it. Make sure you do a self-check, but don't wallow in it. You make sure that is your next priority. And you try to find out what triggered it, what looked familiar, and it goes all the way back to your childhood. It could go back to the ice cream man. You used to always pick the girl that was light-skinned with beautiful hair and blue eyes. But never, anybody with nappy roots, he put them to the back, okay? Whatever you have had a trauma or something like that, it's harder to recognize the signs. In my group, we learned about, say somebody did something irritating to you. How would you proceed? How would you proceed? Like in the past, I used to. Now in the future, when I see it, how am I going to identify it? And third, how am I going to address it? And that had me thinking that yes, we recognize patterns, but we need to also go deeper and find out why that pattern exists, especially if it's a negative pattern. If you win the lotto every third month on the third Thursday, and that's what you been doing, and you hitting the lottery, then keep going. But I'm saying if it's a negative behavior that you keep repeating, and you saw it and it's study sitting there while, first of all, identify it. It looks like deja vu. See the warning sign. And a lot of times we see the warning signs and we still, because shit looks so beautiful, that we keep on going. You keep on going. You think, oh, it seems familiar, or oh, you're distracted on this side. No, you know not to trust that person. If you got a best friend that like to flirt with your man, first of all, she shouldn't be your best friend. No, let's use a better. You got that cousin Joe that you don't sit your purse by, cousin Joe, but he's in recovery, but it hadn't been too long in recovery, okay? And you wonder why your purse got stolen. And it goes back to, you love your Uncle Joe, but he's a pipehead. Okay? But anyway, I digress. But that's kind of example of what I'm trying to say is, we identify the pattern, especially when you're working through therapy or you're working on yourself. There's a lot of self-help books out there. Make sure you identify some negative patterns and negative behaviors. What did you do in the past? What do you want to do in the future? Write it down, journal, and work through that. But I just want you to know that always congratulate your wins. Don't beat yourself up too long on your defeats or stuff, I mean, it's too much going on in life, and I'm learning that, and I'm so grateful that it's too much other stuff going on in your life. Don't beat yourself up because everybody else beating you up anyway. So no need of you putting yourself, but you need to do a self check. You need to check yourself. You need to act like that auntie, good girlfriend, or a real good girlfriend. One, you can leave your man there. She ain't gonna touch him, and you know that she gonna tell, even if you try. But anyway, it's just somebody you have to be checked. You have to be checked, and it's a lot of us don't do it to ourselves. You need to self-check. Study calling somebody else up. Self-check yourself. Examine yourself. What am I doing wrong? What could I do better? Okay, this is how I used to do, and it got me nowhere. And this is like part of the pattern. Do better. But like I said, start journaling, and you start seeing some changes in your life. It's hard to go through it, the pain. Like I told you, we did a mirror thing as well, and some of the ladies were very choked up. But I am really want to pass on some of the things that I'm learning, dealing with my anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, especially when my mom, she has dementia, and with her, it's not only do I get to relive that moment, that tragedy moment, because that's where her mind is. And sometimes it's like bringing the trauma back. It's like you don't even want to think about it. You got past it, but someone brung it up, and you like, God damn it, And I guess that it is that I'm past it, but no one wants to hear it. That's negative. Nobody wants to hear it, but that's where my mom is. So I have to learn a coping mechanism that my PSD don't always run me. And because I'm in the situation that I am in, that's how it is. It's like, I get triggers, and you get triggers. And it's nothing I can do about this trigger. I can't, physically I'm saying. But mentally I'm working on how to get over those triggers. Not to, I don't want to say not to numb out, but, see it for what it is and move past it. That doesn't bother me anymore. Okay, you can say it to that part of my life is done and over with. I'm good. So, but you guys take care of yourself, love yourself, drink plenty of aqua, but for real, self-check yourself. That's the message I'm giving you. For real. I love my group. Those of you who are struggling, like some of us had some fucked up parents, some of us had good parents, some of us had drug addicted, been molested. You got to deal with that. Or it's gonna come up in your lifetime. It showed up. It's already on your back like a monkey, and you gotta put your grown man panties or grown women panties on and protect our next generation. And say, you know what, we're gonna stop the cycle with me. If you can't stop the cycle with you, you want it, or you want to at least fix it so it don't, it dies, it goes away. And you healing yourself in the future, and so you bring in good people and good love and support shows up in your life. So you guys take care. Much love. Bye.